Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We've got another full house this week, so this is wonderful. Welcome to Hacktoberfest Week 2. It's wonderful. Now, Sandy isn't able to join us. She is traveling, and she can't find good internet wherever she is. So we're going to miss you, Sandy, but we'll see you next week, hopefully. But once again, we have Alesh and Jamie joining us. And we've got two special developers joining us as well. We have Kay Knight, author of the BioCheck app, and Riel Schmidt, who's joining us, who's working on the CC7 app. So we're looking forward to lots of neat things there. So how's it going, everyone? Busy week for you?
Yeah.
Looks like everyone's tired. Everyone's been up late, hacking away and, fixing things. Riel came on. He said he just finished his latest update in the last hour. Good stuff. So, great. So, I thought I'm going to start off this week just giving you an update on the Super Big Family Tree app, which is the one I'm working on. It's not live. It's not in the Tree app. It's not even on the test server. It's only on my, it's only on my folder in the apps server, the one I actually gave the link out to last week. It's looking a little better than it was before. And what's really exciting is I've got Steve 80 as a programmer, and he's volunteered to help me out with the settings area. So once he gets his hands on a computer and gets it all set up, then I will have a conspirator in this whole thing. So let me just quickly show that, because all these other wonderful people are going to show you stuff they've been working on. And so I'll get my boring stuff out of the way, stuff that you've already seen. So it's not new. It's just a little bit better than it was before. So here we are. So I'm going to refresh it. And I guess I should zoom in, right? So you can see a little bit better. So it's loading. And I've actually got a loading message up here now, so you can sort of follow along the process. So if you're impatient, well, something is happening. Okay, so here we have, now one of the things I've added is I've added this zoom button. So if you click on it, it'll automatically zoom in and out at various levels. Now, I guess because I did that. There we go. If you do a custom zoom and say, okay, that's about the level I want, and then you hit the zoom again, as it does the zooming in, it actually tries to center the people. So that's the zoom factor that I like. So I can read that with my aging eyes. And but anyways, you can see that here's the tree. And last week, if you recall, descendants worked fine, but the ancestors, not so much. But this week, I've got the ancestors working better. We'll go up to 4 levels of ancestors. Oh, we'll stick with 3 levels of descendants. But what's working better this time is now the cousins and the aunts and uncles are showing up. And if I wait one more, you can see there's the first level of first cousins. And we should be able to get a level of second cousins as well. So anyway, so you can see that there's let's just zoom. You can see you can actually get quite a few people. And if I click on in-laws, I have to wait for the loading cousins to finish. You can see you can get quite a few people packed into this super big family. Anyway, so that's about all that's new there.
What's the total number of people on the chart at the moment?
That is an excellent question, and that would be a great stat to have in the bar here, wouldn't it?
Okay.
But I don't. But I will have to add that. Thank you, Alesh. Okay,
Next
let me write that
then.
down. New feature request: number of people. Yes. Why didn't I think of that? Of course.
Well, you are always busy clicking and writing and watching for the details. And now
Yeah,
we are just viewing the preview, and that was the first question that
that was the
came in
first
mind.
question. Okay. Anyone have other questions? Because that's so when Steve comes and joins the settings area right now, I've all the settings that don't actually work. I put an exclamation star right next to them so they stand out. So he'll be able to find out what it is. Now, there are some things that do work. So you can actually change the font. That works.
Wow.
You know, that's kind of boring. I mean, it's not really very exciting. It doesn't, but that's one feature that still worked. You know, it's funny things that do work and things that don't. But anyways, that's that's all I have to report on the progress in that app. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it over. Who wants to go next? Let's see. Jamie, do you want to talk about some of the other stuff that's happening? And
yeah, so I don't have my computer ready to screen share.
Okay.
But, so I know Ian added a few things to the browser extension this week, including something that a lot of people were asking for, which is the ability to see which people in your CC7 have been changed. So that's really cool.
It's very exciting. Yeah, and he's testing that right now. It isn't live in the live version, right?
Yeah, it's in the preview version, and actually I made a post in G2G that links. It's like a testing post.
Oh.
Which links to the 3 preview versions of the browser extension for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, and also the preview version of the Tree app, just so people can test. So I will find that link and post it.
What changed in your CC7? Yes. Yeah, that's right, Chris. I tried it this morning, and unfortunately I hit an API limit, so it said limit exceeded, so it wouldn't tell me.
Yes. Yeah, Ian and I were all trying to figure out why that's been happening lately. And I think we finally figured it out, and so I sent the information to Brian. So hopefully that won't happen as often now. Like once Brian fixes that, because I know it's been annoying for some people where they try to use an app and it won't let them. But we think we're getting closer to why it's happening when it shouldn't. So let me find that link to the testing post. Okay.
Okay. Wow. Well, Jamie is doing that. I've got exciting news for you, because we can. Let me see here. We've been allowed to give away a free T-shirt. So the way we're going to do it is anyone who's in the chat who types the word Hacktober is entered into the draw for a free T-shirt, and we'll do the draw at the end of the LiveCast. So there we go. So type Hacktober. I'm just double checking. I'm spelling it the same way that the person collecting the. Yep, there we go. Hacktober. There we go. Okay. Did you find what you were looking for, Jamie?
I did, but for some reason it says that it fails to post when I try to put it in the chat. So I guess I'll add it.
Put it in the private chat.
I did.
Okay, let me try, because I think it works for me. Okay, it's in.
Yeah, so that's the post that tells you how to see the preview versions stuff.
Great. And did you mention Ian also has done the the wiki table wizard feature, and I haven't played with it enough, so I don't want to make it look bad. So I don't want to demo it and mess it up. Ian's here looking at us too, so so we've got other things to show, and I'd rather demo it next week and not make a fool of myself or get someone else to do the demo than do it live, if that's okay. Sorry, Ian. But so the wiki table wizard is new, and the CC7 changes are coming and are available in the preview. Anything else, Jamie?
No.
From there. Jamie's also taking more of a lead in the on the tree apps. So when we finish a tree app, we can give it directly to Jamie, and then that'll get posted on the test server and then the tree apps. So it's all great. Riel, or do you want to go next? Show what you talk
Sure.
about what you've been working on.
If I can figure out how to share my screen.
Click on the present button down there.
Yeah.
Okay, while you're doing that, Chris was asking about what are the features on the CC7 changes. So basically, there is in the find menu, there's a new option that says CC7 changes, and it will tell you which profiles have been added or removed since the last time that you checked your CC7 changes. It basically keeps track of them in your own browser, not on the server, but in your browser history. And then when you hit that, it'll sort of update. It'll go and check to see what's new since the last time you checked it.
There's already documentation for it on the space page.
Oh, perfect.
If someone,
oh, really? The documentation's there before it actually goes live.
Well, because it says preview.
Preview, yes. I love when that happens. And then you get all excited and it's preview.
Yeah, I still can't post links in the comments for some reason. So if Alesh can move it from private chat into comments. Just so there's screenshots and everything. I'm assuming Murray did it. He's very good at documentation. So yeah,
he's good. It's great. Okay, take it away. Maybe I'm going to hide the banner for a bit, but if you haven't typed Hacktober yet, make sure you do so that you can. Oh, sorry, Alex.
Okay. Okay, so I want to show three things that I added to the CC7 app. The first one is just a cancel button. The CC7 app remembers which degree you retrieved the last time. And sometimes you retrieve the CC7 of somebody and they may not have had a very large CC7. And you go away and the next day you come back and you just want to retrieve a CC3 of somebody else. But when you go to the app, it will automatically retrieve the degree that it got the last time. So what you can do now, so let me take this guy and I say, okay, I accidentally wanted to get CC7 and it's going to take a while. I said, oops, that's not what I wanted. Now you'll see that these two, the get buttons are disabled. Otherwise the system gets completely confused with all the gets that's going. And you decide that this is not what I wanted, I can just say, oh, cancel, and the thing is just almost immediately canceled. And the API call is aborted, and the servers are saved from extra work.
Oh, nice.
Then the second thing you can do is you can run biocheck on or you can ask it to run the biochecks on the profiles as they are being retrieved. So, okay, now before I do that, let me just set this back to something sane for this person. I'm choosing the small numbers just to make the demo easier. And you'll see under the settings, in addition to the died young icons that you can set, there's now a biocheck tab. And you can say, right, oh, what I forgot to mention is if you don't have the biocheck on in the top here, you see that there's a message that tells you your biocheck is disabled. Biocheck is disabled by default if you haven't disabled it before, simply because in order to do biocheck, we have to retrieve the profile biographies, and that puts extra strain on the servers and on your data, and it takes longer to pull the CC7 with sort of superficial tests on my CC7, which is relatively large. The retrieval time was about double what it was before. So you may not want to have it on always. But anyway, so I can enable it. And remember to click the apply changes, otherwise it's not applied to the app. It just sits there in the config, but it's not applied to the app. Greg can explain to you why that happens. Since it's his little settings app that was for code that's very useful. Anyway, so now I've noticed that that message has disappeared at the top. So bio checking will be done when I get the CC7 for this person. It should retrieve about 68 or so profiles. Actually, it retrieves more because in order to retrieve a CC2 and show all the counts correctly, it actually has to retrieve CC3. So it always takes a little bit longer. So now you'll see that down on the left-hand side here, as part of the title of that thing over there, which was just P before, is now P/B, which is privacy and biocheck. And over here, it'll tell you that, okay, that tells you what the icon means, but if you click just to the left of it, it tells you, click to see the biocheck report. And if you click that, it tells you what it found or what biocheck found.
Very nice.
And I think there was, or things like this. And like with all the other pop-ups, you can either just click the same place again, or you can double-click in it, or you can click the X at the bottom to make it go away. And that is about it as far as the biocheck is concerned. If you want, and then if you turn it off, you come here, turn it off, and you apply it, then it will remove all those things immediately. However, if you now go back and turn it on again, or at some point later, it doesn't run the biochecks. Because if you turn biocheck off, or if biocheck is off while you're retrieving profiles, we don't retrieve the biographies.
Right.
So it could go faster, and therefore we can't run biocheck on the data we already have.
Right.
So this is also why that sentence is there to tell you that it's only the next time you press the get button that the biocheck will run if you've just enabled it.
Right.
So if I run it then again, then it will appear. And this also happens for like you just get the degree only, the 1 degree, then it should also there it is. Shows you biocheck ran just on the degree.
And you only have one issue. That's great.
Yeah. in this set, no, there are more.
Oh, no, you have more than one issue. Oh, okay. You're only showing us that you had one issue, but
these are not necessarily my profiles, but yeah.
That's a lot of people just at the second degree. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's one of my, this person is in my tree somewhere, or in my CC7 somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next thing is not on the test server yet, and as Greg mentioned, I just sort of got it to work as I wanted it to work about an hour ago. And this is to allow you to select subsets of view of your CC in view to display. Because sometimes there can be quite a lot of profiles. So this is just the CC2 of one of my great-grandfathers or somebody. And already, quite a lot, and you may want to limit what you're looking at just for some sanity. So I've added this filter or selection box at the beginning here that allows you to, as the pop-up says, select which profile should be displayed. And you have 5 options. It's all of them. Or you can say you want to show only the direct ancestors or direct descendants, or what I call everyone that's above the current person or the central person, where above is kind of defined by anyone that can be reached. Oops.
Are you showing the pop-up? Because I can't see the pop-up right now.
Can you not see the pop-up?
Does anyone else see the pop-up?
It's showing on my screen, but it doesn't. I don't see it on the shared screen. Pop-ups don't show up on the shared screen.
It depends what you selected in present after pressing present icon. If you select whole screen, then it would show. Otherwise, it's just one application.
I selected window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. For some reason, the pop-up registers a different window when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I try to create pop-ups for just about everything. So if you just hover about something and be a little bit patient sometimes, then something will pop up and tell you what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
So the all above is basically for anyone that can be reached by first following the parent link. And all below is anyone that can be reached by first following non-parent link. There is a but to be added to those 2 statements, because if you start with a parent link and thereafter you can follow any link.
So can it go back down under the children?
Yes. So, and similarly, when you go down in your CC7, when you follow children and thereafter follow any parent, you can circle back to some of your ancestors. So There are actually circles, if you want to call it that. But you can get to the same person going up or going down.
Right.
And so the decision I made was that anyone that can fall in both of those groups, you compare the age of that person with a central person, and if it's the same age or younger, then it's in the below group. Otherwise, it's in the above group.
Oh, okay.
No, so sometimes you'll see weird things where.
So you'll get some older brothers and younger sisters in the different groups.
Yes. Or you'll get a great some uncle, great grand uncle or whatever in the below group, but simply because you don't have a link to him yet going upwards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it depends on how your people are connected. So here I selected ancestors, and these are then just the parents and grandparents of this person. And this ancestor view also work on the list tab. You go to list, so those are just the ancestors. It doesn't make sense on the hierarchy list because it just creates chaos if you remove if you don't show some of these people because of the hierarchy.
Right.
So you can't see it there, but the moment you go back to list or to table, then the table, you will see it. And while you're in that thing, you can still select, say, all above, and it will add everyone above, or you can go to the table and it will show you.
And what's the difference between table and normal table again?
Okay, normal table is just, I have what is here now a wide table, wide display. Normal table just makes it fit in the screen. So it's either wide or normal. It's just the width of the table, basically. Right. If you select wide table, it doesn't wrap the lines inside the cells, and you have to scroll left and right to see everything.
But you get more people per screen.
But you can get, yeah, exactly. And yep, that is it.
That's great.
I wasn't sure whether this subset thing, how useful it was or will be, and whether people will actually use it. So maybe people can give feedback and say whether they think it's a good idea or not. So that's maybe another reason why I haven't I haven't submitted it yet. I was still debating whether it might be useful.
It seems fun. I like it. I'm not, it'd be interesting to play with. So yeah, give us feedback in the chat or on G2G about these new options. Excellent. Well, this is a nice segue since you've incorporated biocheck into the CC7 app. Let's hear from Kay and what she's been up to this week.
Okay. Have I unmuted okay?
You have.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's all about collaboration. That's WikiTree. And everybody's been showing it already. Somebody said they wanted this, and so we'll add this to it. And then people tested it and said, yeah, that's working. Oh, that's got a problem. I don't understand that. And the same happens with the documentation. Well, the developers are doing the same thing. And so the developers are collaborating to all work together. I don't have a lot of new stuff to show for biocheck, but I wanted to show a couple of things. So let me see if I can share my screen correctly. And I'm going to do the whole thing. So it's going to be kind of strange. Okay, so it's showing, is that showing the whole screen?
It is.
It is. All right, so we're going to go first here.
There we go.
To biocheck. And the bolding is one of the things that was somebody suggested that a long time ago. If I go do a WikiTree Plus search for profiles that were born in 1880 that are orphans, and say 1,000 of them, and say check, I've had this cancel button for a long time because I'm impatient, but Real taught me how to make it a lot quicker.
Oh.
So that's just an example of the collaboration. Also, the little tiny thing is that I added some bolding and a little bit results may be incomplete when you cancel. Just a couple of minor things. If we go look at this guy, Franklin Dill, and we go check him, it's a quick way because he's not a profile manager. I see that he's unsourced, marked unsourced, but he might have sources. That's a new check that's been added. And if I scoot over here, because I don't have the preview version of the web browser in my Firefox. It's only in my Chrome. So when I go down here and I go over save draft, you will see that it's saying this guy is unsourced, but he has a source that's not clearly identified. And then references is down at the end. And if you go look at the change history, somebody went in and clicked that did it a long, long time ago and got the default, and I added a source and never cleaned it up. So
that was a complaint during Sourceathon this year, that many profiles are actually sourced, but still do have the template. So now we will know which one are those.
That's great. Yeah. And I think they asked us about that on Ask Alesh this week too, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is great, Kay. This is really answering a call that's needed. Yeah.
Another one, if you get some real, in order to find sources, biocheck has to look at the style of a profile. It's a side effect. Biocheck is to see if a profile is sourced. But as a side effect, it checks the style per the help that's out there. So if we look at May, she looks like, well, yeah, she probably ought to be on source, but she's easy to source. If you go look at her brother, Tom, Dick, or Harry, whatever his name is here. I just saw that.
I know.
But if you look at May, you will see that the biography heading is before the category Boulder, Colorado. It used to just say that category isn't the first thing. And there were some really messed up profiles that had multiple categories that were interspersed among all the little things that are templates, stuff that's in between the squiggly brackets, like a research note box, the project box, navigation box sometimes. John is the same way, that he's got a couple of categories out of order. I think that was all that I really had to show about it, because there's not that much more that's new. Does anybody have any questions before I stop sharing?
I noticed in the GitHub messages that you had done something with the biocheck with Fanchart and the fractal tree, but was that just moving code that didn't change how it worked, or did it change how it worked?
I did change. I cleaned up the code.
Oh, wow. There was lots to clean up, I'm sure. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a while ago I did stuff. Now the references is out before. I cleaned up the code and the help, because the code is the help.
Right.
Regenerated the docs, because working with Riel, I found, oh, wait, that doesn't make sense. That's not quite right. I need to go through the fan chart and the fractal tree and make sure you're using it right. I need to do a code review of your code to see if there's any issues there.
Now I'm afraid.
No,
it's always scary letting someone else in and checking your code.
Well, I want to look and see if it's using biocheck correctly.
Exactly.
I have too many plates spinning right now. I got a suggestion from the Profile Improvement Project and working with Alesh on maybe adding some new stuff, and had a thing out there a long time that people wanted to know how many sources are there on a profile. I got it. I just got to figure out how to squeeze it into that table that's getting reported. I already report the number of inline references, and I thought, well, I could just put the number and then put the angle brackets in inline. But that's no good, because then you can't sort that column, and you might want to, report your watch list and sort how many things have inline references. So, but I do want to go back and look at the tree apps and see if there's anybody else that, now that we know there's a cost of grabbing the bio when you grab the profile, when you actually get the profile, I think it's tied to how long the bio is. I think that's what drives it.
Probably.
Because I did one and it went from like 60 to 80 seconds. 20 seconds is an eternity when you're waiting for it.
Yeah.
Why my app has a cancel button.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. But I want to see if anywhere else that it might make sense to add that. And it should be fairly easy to do. It's just a matter of, I think, figuring out how to set the options and how to display the results is the hard thing. Well, you did it,
Yeah. And by default, I do grab all the bios from the get-go. But the fan chart, I mean, it's a lot smaller than a CC7 in terms of the number of people you're gathering, especially since you only gather 5 generations at first. So that's only 63 names. And then you're gathering 1 generation at a time. So it's fairly small and incremental. So
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed that, to turn it off and then turn it on. But I suppose we can, if people find that the fan chart has slowed down since I've added that,
Well,
that's an option.
I was testing the CC7 app with Riel and with my own family, my own CC7, which is only like 3,500.
Right.
So it's not as big as his, and a lot of them don't have very lengthy biographies. I think a lot of his have really long bios.
So that's the cost of being a really good WikiTreeer. Yeah.
I'm not known for being succinct.
Well, neither am I.
You've looked at my help page. I'm not known for being succinct.
Yeah. So, well, that's something I'll keep in mind. Okay. Well, that's great, Kay. We're
Thanks.
really enjoying, and the integration. Chris mentioned it in the chat already, but I'm excited seeing how that. I'm glad that it worked with the fan chart. That was a nice test case, and
one of the really cool things is that unsourced gets sticked on a profile when you use AutoBio and WBE, but it's finding out if it's unsourced by using biocheck.
Oh.
And
really? So AutoBio uses biocheck.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a race trying to get it into the browser extension.
That's great.
Who's first? Who's there? Or maybe that was change options. We raced a little bit. But the results that are reported in the CC7 app, in the browser extension, and in the biocheck app itself, the details, it's the same text.
That's
it's all the same. Because we're lazy. We just want to do it once.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah. Let's be consistent. That's great. Okay. So Alesh, should we do the t-shirt giveaway now before Alesh goes, or should we wait till after Alesh? What do you think, Jamie?
I don't know if anyone else is going to enter.
Yeah. Okay. So if you haven't already typed in the word Hacktoberfest, now would be the time to do it, folks. We'll give you a few seconds. Alesh, what are you going to show us today?
Well, my working environment for WikiTree browser extensions. So how do I get the data from GitHub and how to edit it in Visual Studio Code, and then also compiling, testing on the page, debugging, and so on.
Excellent. Okay, that sounds wonderful. I'm really keen about seeing this.
It's actually funny because yesterday someone posted and actually asked that exact question, like, "Oh, I haven't done browser extension programming. Like, how do you like debug and stuff like that?" I was like, perfect timing, Alesh.
Perfect timing. Oh wow. Okay.
But I won't show how to install everything and so, but just so you get an idea of how it looks, and maybe some that are already doing it might see something new or give me some idea in discussions later.
Okay. Hacktober, not Hacktoberfest, just Hacktober is the word. And I'm about to, it looks like we have 20 entries. So there's 5.
Will you share the screen?
I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, I was just checking there to make sure. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Am I still sharing my screen? I know, I guess I closed down my screen. I'll go over here and I'll move this over to there. Not that you guys, okay. And there we go. Oh, someone hit. Okay, 21 entries. There's Hacktober. I'll give you a 5-second countdown to type it in if you haven't already done it. 5, 4, 3. Hacktober 1. Okay, ready or not, here goes the draw. Woohoo! Who's gonna win the free t-shirt? It will be
WikiTree.
Azure.
Azure. Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Azure gives away all these things, but she never wins herself. So now she gets to win. Yay, Azure. Well, I think Azure knows how to win the prize. You have to email aowen@wikitree.com. Well, that's great. That's super. Fantastic. Okay. Take it away, Alesh.
Okay. So, for getting the so as you most likely probably know, we have on GitHub we have WikiTree browser extension, and here you can actually see all the files. Each file that represent the source, they are all most of them that are being developed are in the source map here, and then in the features, each feature has its own folder, so you can check how somebody did something. This is always interesting to see. So, and here you can come on the internet to the to how something is written. So this is just a view only. Although you can edit here, but usually we don't do that. It's just I mean, things need to be tested and so on. So to get this all these files to my computer, I initially installed the GitHub desktop. This is the application where you can set it up, and now here I can easily see all the history of the pull request and so on. And now here, for instance, I see I'm five instances behind, so 5 new things were already published since I last clicked here. So I just click here, and now it will pull all the new requests from internet, and I will see here actually. Let's maximize this. Okay, so here they came, and I will see for each change, for each pull, what was changed in which file, so you can overview things here. So the bug on CC7 there were debugging logs changes and so on. So you can check every detail here. Usually I'm working directly on the development branch, because since I have the rights to do that, but usually one needs to create a new branch and download the files, write what he wants, and then publish that branch back to the GitHub, and it gets then merged into the main development branch. So here with this program, you can do everything that I do, that you have to do with GitHub to do. And then afterwards, I use Visual Studio browser, Visual Code for developing. And here again, all the file you have to install a few extensions to the Visual Studio to make things nicer. But here again, you can see every file that is up there, and you can actually do the edits to the code. So let's go to WikiTree Plus. Okay. And okay, here I program what needs to be changed. It's very nicely colored, everything, and so on. And then once I want to test something, you can do here in npm scripts. I run this build developer environment. So this will compile the actual component so that I can use it in the browser then. So in the meantime, it takes a few seconds. Then in browser, first thing you need to do is to, in browser, you actually need to, in the extension, manage extensions, you have to install you have to turn on the developer mode in the extensions, and then install from local hard drive the extension. So this is the extension directly from my drive, and this is the official published extension here. So I have the official one turned off, and this one is turned on. Here it also collects the errors that occurred during testing of the extension. So here I can see what was wrong lately in the extension during my runs of it. But the only thing that I need to do is hit this refresh button. So this means that the extension got reloaded. Now okay, let's go to some page. Okay, I think WikiTree Plus is here. And when I'm checking it, I always have the developer mode, debugging mode turned on. So here I can see all the errors that occurred during the extension and so on. So you can then tend to it and see what's wrong. So this is how the process goes. And then here I try I don't know, we can go to add any category. And okay, it goes like this. Then here in extension, I can turn on debugging. So this is, I do this by here. If you go to section sources, here there are two WikiTree browser extension. This is WikiTree browser extension with. Okay, I'm missing something. I know what I'm missing. So I have to select first here the
Consoler.
No. Okay, yeah. Here in the context scripts, so here I get all the extensions that I'm using. Although the WikiTree browser extension is usually just this, let me increase this a bit. It's just this code that is not really readable. But if you turn on so here if you run the debug mode, so this debug icon, in that case, you get another WikiTree browser extension here, where it is actually all the files on the disk are actually here present, and you can debug through them. So here I can go to WikiTree Plus, and let's see, WikiTree Plus. I think this is the main unit, and I can then here set a breakpoint, and so we were in the category something. Okay. Okay, I can, for instance, okay, this is main loop. I can put here the breakpoint. And now when I will select add any category, okay, it didn't come to the main loop event. Oh, now it did. Yeah. Okay. and it stopped the execution of the extension, and now I'm here in debugger, and I can examine all the elements, run code line by line, and so on. So here I see elements, all the properties, and so on. So this is very useful once you are looking for for something that doesn't work as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just continue the execution and set the breakpoint, and okay, and continue the work. So this is generally what I do.
Wow.
Any questions?
Oh, that's neat. Yeah. I think a lot of us might have to rewatch this video maybe on half speed, just and I don't know, because of the video, the program that we're broadcasting through, that only takes up a quarter of my screen, so it's very tiny font. So I'm gonna have to blow it up on my big monitor to see it. But as someone who's only programmed the tree apps, I've downloaded the stuff for the browser extension, and we got it all installed at RootsTech actually. And it was ready to go, and I made one little test comment, and I haven't done anything in the browser extension since then. So,
well, I know it does. You can. I know that you can also here, if you install a GitHub, even from the studio, you can get you can examine the changes you did.
That's right. Yeah. I should be, because I installed it once.
So
I can now
here I can examine what I changed before.
Nice.
But I don't do commits from here, although I think it's possible. But I got used to this program, so I'm using this one for now.
The GitHub desktop.
Yep.
See, I use Visual Studio Code for programming my tree apps. And I commit directly from there, but then I go over to the GitHub web page just to make sure that I do the pull requests from the GitHub web page.
Well, here in GitHub desktop, you have all the options to here to create the repository change, create push pull requests, and so on. So it's kind of most of the things that you can do on GitHub are also here, but for a few details, I also need to go directly to GitHub, especially if if you want to examine the history of some file, how did it change in the last year?
Right.
That's, I think, easiest directly on GitHub.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's great. So if people have questions, you can put comments on the GGG post. I suppose you could put comments on this video as well. Or if there's something more specific.
I don't think any of us will see the comments on this
Not on
video.
YouTube. No. So add them to the GGG post. That would be better.
Or Discord.
Or Discord. Just send us a direct message in Discord if you have questions about that. But I think, so if you want to stop sharing your screen, we can see Jamie and her sister's corgi in a bit bigger frame. That's what the audience wants to see.
I just need to find some sharing. Well, I also have here our cookie.
Oh, you've got your dog? My Finnegan's just sleeping away over there.
He's bugging me here to go on a walk.
Yeah, I'm visiting my sister in North Carolina, and she has 2 corgis, and this one wanted to sit in my lap. So.
Oh, isn't that nice?
We're still on the Golden Retriever Rescue waiting list to get a new puppy. Missing our Molly.
My dog is sleeping on this carpet there. He still smells a bit like the skunk that he got sprayed with last weekend. So Riel, do you have a dog? Are you the only one without one?
No dog.
No dog. Okay. That's okay.
So you don't get distracted while programming.
Yeah, that's right. They're very distracting sometimes.
Lock up and go. That's my It's my motto.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Azure said that she wanted to donate her prize to someone else. So we get to do this draw again. So let's draw again to end off our show. And who's going to be the winner? Hopefully someone who's still online. Mad Max. Woohoo! Way to go, Mad Max.
Mad or Max?
So, Max, what you have to do is you have to email Eowyn at, let's see, where's her? There's got to be a banner with her name on it. It's here somewhere. I don't see it. Just I'll just put it in Eowyn. I have to spell it right though. WikiTree.com. If you email Eowyn at WikiTree.com. Oh, and I should have known Azure would have put it in. Anyways, there we go. She will set you up with your prize. So free T-shirt. Generally, you have a choice between a T-shirt and a mug. I suspect that's still the case, but Eowyn will let you know. Chris okayed that we can give away the prize, so that's great news. So congratulations, Max. Mad Max. Max Mad. Mad Max. And I think that's it that's all we have lined up. Jamie, any other things that I missed?
Something I missed when I was talking about the browser extension. Yeah, Chris just mentioned that David Weinberg was a new contributor.
All right.
So
yes.
it's in the chat. So thank you, David.
Yes. Excellent. What's David been working on?
My mind is blank. It was like the category migration helper. I think he made it work with the advanced editor or so. That's right. Yes. Now I remember seeing that go by. Yeah. So very nice. David's in the chat. Very nice. Excellent. So that's good. Yeah. And I've got someone who'll be starting to help me shortly. And you've already mentioned you mentioned someone else. Anyways, there's been lots of people working together, so that's very nice. So that's great. Oh yeah, I forgot the other thing that I was going to mention. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I was stalling for time. I was waiting for you to think.
I have a corgi on my lap, so I'm thinking it was like how cute she is. No.
Yeah, that's right. It's hard to think.
Stephen Harris has been working on a portrait view.
Right.
So you can view, so you can like see all the portraits. I'm not quite sure if it looked like it wasn't just your ancestors, maybe ancestors and their children, but it will just show you all their portraits like on a page, which is kind of cool.
That's very cool.
And when I tested his version yesterday, I think he had been working on it, so it wasn't there. And then I only have it on the test server, so it's not available for other people to look at now. But I will do that as soon as we're off the live chat.
Okay. Yes. So we'll look forward to seeing that previewed next week then.
Yes.
Yes. Murray Maloney. That's the name that was stuck in my head. I was thinking Maloney. No, that's not. It's a different first name. It's not Maloney. It's Murray Maloney, who was helping a lot with the documentation and stuff too. So, anyways, thanks everyone. Thanks Kay and Riel for joining us, and Alesh as always.
Right.
And we'll see you this time next week. And let me just find our outgoing video. See you later.